The Russo-Japanese War, 1904 to 1905, was a conflict between the Russian Empire and the Empire of Japan over imperial ambitions in Manchuria and Korea. The war had far-reaching consequences for both countries and international relations at the time. Below is a complete overview of the events, causes, major battles, and outcomes. Causes of the Russo-Japanese War: imperialism and expansion. Both Russia and Japan had ambitions in East Asia. Japan sought to expand its influence in Korea and Manchuria, while Russia sought to assert control over the region to secure its eastern frontier and access to warm water ports. Japan was particularly interested in controlling Korea, while Russia sought to expand its territory through the construction of the Trans-Siberian Railway and by gaining control over Port Arthur and Dalian on the Liaodong Peninsula. Manchuria and Korea. Russia had previously gained influence in Manchuria and Korea, but Japan was determined to stop Russian encroachment on the Korean peninsula. The Treaty of Portsmouth, 1898, had granted Russia rights to Port Arthur and Dalian, further heightening tensions. Japan, a rising imperial power, felt threatened by Russia's growing influence and desired to protect its interests in Korea, which it had effectively annexed by 1905. Deteriorating relations. Japan and Russia had long-standing rivalries in East Asia. Diplomatic efforts to reach a peaceful resolution, such as the 1902 Anglo-Japanese alliance, which made Japan stronger diplomatically, failed to ease tensions. Negotiations broke down over the status of Korea and Manchuria, leading Japan to conclude that war was inevitable. Outbreak of war, February 1904. The war officially began on February 8, 1904, when Japan launched a surprise attack on the Russian fleet stationed at Port Arthur, modern-day Lushuan, China, which was the Russian naval base on the Liaodong Peninsula. The attack destroyed much of the Russian Pacific Fleet, leaving Russia vulnerable. Japan then declared war on Russia on February 10, 1904. Key events and battles. Battle of Port Arthur, 1904 to 1905. After the initial surprise attack, Japan laid siege to Port Arthur. The battle lasted several months, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Russian defenders fought fiercely, but after a lengthy siege and devastating attacks, Port Arthur fell to Japan on January 2, 1905. Battle of the Yellow Sea, August 10, 1904. In the Yellow Sea, Japan's fleet defeated the Russian Baltic Fleet, which had traveled halfway around the world to assist Russia in the war. This victory gave Japan naval dominance over the region, isolating Russia's forces in the Far East. Battle of Mukden, February 20th to March 10, 1905. This was one of the largest land battles of the war. The Russian army, despite having superior numbers, was defeated by the Japanese forces, who used superior tactics and equipment. The battle marked the turning point in favor of Japan on land. The Tsushima Strait Battle, May 27 to 28, 1905. The decisive naval battle took place in the Tsushima Strait, where the Russian Baltic Fleet was decisively destroyed by the Japanese Navy. This battle effectively ended Russia's naval power in the Pacific.